Hey, what's up, Design for a Purpose fans and finding your purpose fans? I hope everybody is good out there today. Yes, I'm finally back with another one. For right now, I have to combine both shows until we get the uploading and stuff correct. But I decided no more waiting, so let's get it going. Now, today I'm going to talk to you about a story that happened some months back, but I had to calm down and figure out the right time to talk about it. And so today will be it. We have a story out of Houston. Now, this sister and brother, they were super close, like there's nothing that one would not have done for the other, and that's rare these days. So anyway, the brother was locked up. The sister was excited. He was getting out. He was finally gonna meet, his 4-year-old niece. No, correction, she's two. Well, his 2-year-old niece. He's been locked up. You know, the whole family has just been in shambles since he was locked up. So everybody was excited. Gonna throw him a big welcome home party. Okay. So while they're preparing for that, he's excited to get out and finally get back to some normalcy. So he gets out. They throw him the party, and he goes away with some friends, like a couple streets away. Now, mind you, that should have been a clear indication right there. Why are you going to leave a gathering that they have set up for you? But he leaves, and the family's like, where did he go? Where did he go? Where did John go? His sister's like, oh, he some of his homeboys came, and he said he'll be right back. Okay, so the family's still there, laughing, having a good time, celebrating, and can't wait till he gets back, and they'll pick up where they left off with him. Well, when he gets back, he's acting strange. They're like, what's going on with John? Why is he acting strange? We never seen him act like this even before, he was locked up. Like, this is something totally new to them. So, some of the families like, okay, well, y'all got things to work out, so I'm gonna go home. They start leaving because he starts getting real crazy, yelling, throwing, things around, and his mom is sitting there stunned. She's trying to figure out why is he acting like this. But of course, she can't just dismiss him because that is her son. So she's like, okay, maybe he went through some stuff when he got locked up, and maybe he's triggered now. Well, it turns out he's still acting erratic, and so she calls one of the friends. She ends up getting one of the numbers of the guys he left with, and she's like, what happened to my son? He's like, oh no, nothing. We was just kicking it. Over with some other people. You know, smoking a little marijuana. Having a good time. And she's like, nah, this doesn't seem right. So she's gets off the phone and she tries to calm him down, and he ends up choking her and throwing her down. So she's like, "Okay, you gotta go. You're acting very strange and erratic, and I can't handle this." Because mind you, everybody else had left, so she was just there alone. And she's like, "You gotta go." So she put him out. He was like, "Let me get clothes. Let me get my clothes." She was like, "Okay, but you gotta go." So she lets him get his stuff, and he leaves after putting his hands on her. He goes to his sister's. He seems to have calmed down a bit. So he was there for about a couple of weeks. Everything seemed good. She's like still happy to have her brother back. And, he's finally getting to bond with his niece. As I just said, everything seems good. But then he got a hold of those friends again. So they do what they do. He goes back to his sister's house, starts acting crazy, and she's like, "You know what? I'm gonna call the police on you. I have a daughter. I can't be dealing with this. She doesn't need to be around this. If you need some help, you need to speak out." Again, he gets all erratic, starts putting his hands on her, just like he did his mom. Everything seemed to be getting back to normal once he slept it off, so to speak. You got to put air quotes with that. Slept it off, so to speak. But it turns out he wasn't okay. He ends up taking his sister's life as well as his 2-year-old niece. Now, his mom says he got a hold of some bad marijuana in each of those cases. Here's my thing: if you don't know what you're smoking, where the person you're smoking with, if you don't know where they got it, who they got it from, hell, if you don't even know where they grew it, don't do it. Do not do it. Because, one, I'm not advocating smoking anything at all. But if you must, you have to realize that everybody gets affected by things differently. So maybe his body couldn't handle that. So he shouldn't have been smoking. You would think that those friends noticed him acting a little weird and they wouldn't have, enticed him to smoke again. It doesn't make it okay for what he has done. But we must know that we all take in things differently. We consume things differently. Our body acts different towards certain things. Somebody can consume something and be perfectly fine. The person next to them can consume it and start acting crazy or just get totally sick. We are all different. We consume things differently. Just like we take in information differently, we're not the same. It's not a bad thing, but you need to know what your body can handle and what your body can't handle. And clearly for him, he had been locked up for a good 10 years. Things change very rapidly out here. So apparently what he smoked before he went in, maybe his body could handle. But this new grade of stuff, he can't handle it. And the people around him that got him and they went and smoked, did what they did, they should have known, okay, he's acting different. Don't give him no more stuff. I don't care if he did have the money, whatever, don't do that. Because to me, you're just as guilty. Now he's locked back up for taking his sister and his niece's life and putting his hands on his mom. He's probably never going to get out now. That's what I'm saying. People, you have to use common sense. I don't care, as I just said it. If he had the money, okay, he had the money. But if his actions do not fall in line, don't take the money and don't give him anything because you're just as guilty as him. You know his body cannot take that. And people, we must realize that you don't have to do everything that somebody else does just to, you know, have a good time with them and stuff. Mm-mm. If people can't accept you for who you are, you don't need to hang with them anyway. That right there should be a telltale sign. If you can accept the fact that I don't smoke, I don't drink, then we don't need to hang around each other because it's not good either way. You can have fun, you can, you know, be the best friend, be whatever they call you. You can do all that around them and still not partake in those festivities, if you want to call them. You got to be careful when you're talking on these sites because they will try to ban you. But people, just come on, you gotta use your head. Now, I think they took advantage of him. I think these friends, well, there's plenty of ways you could put it. Maybe they were super excited because he was out trying to get back to the old person, or maybe they just knew that he'll do whatever because he's out. But if you ask me, I think they took advantage of him. They had to know that he was acting different. Because who does whatever they do around their people and just leave? Most of the time, you sit, talk, and laugh and kiki until everything starts to take effect. They had to know that his body was not accepting. So they're just as guilty, if you ask me. And those are not friends. Those are not friends at all. So I think that they should be in trouble too. But the moral of the story is just watch who you hang around with. Be careful who you call your friends. Everybody is not your friend. And like I said, you can hang around, you can be the best friend, you can do all that, but you don't have to partake in what they're partaking in. That doesn't mean you, if they're really cool, that doesn't mean you have to stop hanging around them. Just use common sense. He didn't use common sense. Now he's locked up, probably never gonna see the outside again. We have to be smarter than the sum of our parts, people. And with that being said, you guys, please remember to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And remember, we are all designed for a purpose. Therefore, we all have a purpose. So if you have found your purpose, stand in it. Don't let anyone knock you off. And if you haven't found your purpose, it's okay. Remember, we all have one. It doesn't matter big, small, or what. We all have one. You will find it. Keep searching. Until then, I love you all, and I will catch you next time. Stay safe.